am pleased and very proud to introduce our next speaker, Adrienne Spinner. Adrienne is she's a board member with us. She's also a mom of two and a community organizer from outside of Greensboro, North Carolina. She is the state organizing director for the North Carolina Housing Coalition, and she serves on both the board of directors for the ERA-NC Alliance and the advisory board for the North Carolina Council for Women. Adrienne, come on down.
Thank you. Forgive me, I'm really nervous. This is my first time speaking in a crowd in 2 years. Good morning, I'm Adrienne Spinner. My pronouns are she and her. I'm the opening act for Mandy Carter and Sherry Beasley, so happy to be here. I was appointed to the Council for Women in September of 2018, and it has been so meaningful for me to be a part of a group that advocates for the needs of women and children. In the last year and a half, we have seen these needs highlighted like never before. We see it in parents and caretakers who balance the needs of others above their own day after day. We see it in teachers that give their all for our children without equal pay, support, or resources. We see it in the medical professionals and essential workers who bear the burden of ensuring our community's survival. Late last year, the Council released a report entitled Exploiting Inequity, a Pandemic's Gendered and Racial Toll on the Women and Families of North Carolina. This was a project that we undertook to research the effects of the pandemic and social injustice on the most impacted communities. The biggest conclusion drawn were that these problems are nothing new. COVID highlighted systemic injustices and inequalities that have always been present for people like me. Temporary measures will not fix it. Standing out here today and then doing nothing tomorrow will not fix it. Continuing to allow old, white, cisgendered, affluent men to be the majority demographic at the decision-making table will not fix it. At the rate we're going, my third-grade daughter will be in her 60s before she sees an income equal to that of her white counterparts, and that's both women and men. Years from now, I do not want her here at this legislative building begging old white men for a seat at the table. Now is the time to get in some good trouble and flip some damn tables. We have an opportunity to rebuild systems in an equitable way to create a new normal that works for all of us. This will take investment in women, which will in turn benefit our entire community. When care burdens are more likely to remove women from the workforce, paid leave, universal pre-K, elder care, and disability care services are a must. We must expand Medicaid and fully fund public education and pay our teachers what they deserve. Our essential workers must be paid a living wage with access to affordable health care and the resources to protect themselves on the job. This daunting task will not be solved overnight or even in our generation. But the good thing is that women, especially Black women, are built to fight generation to generation. So, I'm not going to apologize today if I'm being a bit of a buzzkill. I want my words to make you angry and fed up and lead you to acknowledge the privilege that you hold to fight for marginalized folks. I was at a Black Lives Matter event last summer and I saw a t-shirt that said, "This ain't your mama's civil rights movement." That resonated with me because activism and movement work must be dynamic and evolve with society. So today I'm going to tell you, this ain't your mama's women's rights movement. We must acknowledge that the movements of yesteryear did not serve women of color the way they should have. Case in point, after fighting alongside suffragettes, women of color had to wait another 44 years after the 19th Amendment passed for the right to vote. This is your opportunity to decenter white feminism and instead have an intersectional approach that supports people of color, indigenous communities, LGBTQ+ folks, and those experiencing poverty and homelessness. The stains of systemic racism and sexism run deep in our society, but I am hopeful that this is not just a moment, but a movement. of recovery and change that will make all North Carolinians better. My kids are too young to ever remember this time as more than a crazy couple of years being stuck at home with mom and dad, online school, and their Hello Kitty face masks. But I pray that I will be able to show them how our world is made better because of the collective efforts of many, and how women, cis, trans, and non-binary, led the way. Thank you. Let's get to work.